Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Professional People Podcast. On this episode, I have Jason Markowitz, the new general manager of Jan Supply, on the show. He talks about his transition from being a sales guy at Jan Pro to leading the charge at Jan Supply. He tells their story and much more. I hope you enjoy this episode. I have Jason Markowitz from Jan Supply here, one of my fellow B&I Farmington Referral Factory members. I'm super excited to have him on and tell his story today. And Jason, why don't you kind of give us a background about yourself and what you got going at Jan Supply?
Sure. First of all, hello, everyone. Hello, Dan. Thank you very much for having me on. Very excited to be a part of the podcast and kind of share my story and Jan Pro's story. I'm 26. I live in Royal Oak, Michigan. I grew up in Southfield, Michigan. I went to Groves High School and then moved on to U of M Dearborn to study digital marketing. From there, I pretty much started working at Jan Pro while I was still in school. So Jan Pro is a franchise-based commercial cleaning company. So what we do is we sell janitorial contracts to businesses, but we also sell the franchise model to individuals who want to start their own business. So it's a great opportunity for somebody to kind of make an investment and really have an opportunity to start and grow a business that really is different from having just a paid salary or an hourly wage or just a regular 9-to-5 job. So that's kind of a little bit about Jan Pro and what it is. And from there, we started Jan Supply because we found that there was a void in the market. We have about 180 franchisees now that service close to 500 customers across the area, and they all need supplies and their customers need supplies. And so that's where Jan Supply kind of started. Jan Supply opened their doors in 2019 and really got started with the pandemic. We were able to supply PPE, hand sanitizers, as well as toilet paper when there was a shortage. And that's really what got us through 2019. And now we're here really trying to make a name for ourselves in the supply industry, add some value and start capturing some customers to get some recurring orders and be able to outfit some dispensers and fill the paper products.
That's awesome. I love what you guys are doing, and I just had Jason out to our office to let us know what we need supplies wise, and great estimate, save us a bunch of money from what we were paying from Amazon, picking and choosing different spots. Can you tell us exactly what your role is with Jan Supply?
Yeah. So I should back up and say that I used to do sales for Jan Pro. I was one of the salespeople that did the business to business contract sales. That was my strong suit. I did that for about 3 years. And so at this point, when I was asked to move over to Jan Supply, I was taking on the role of general manager, and kind of taking the reins of the company and figuring out our direction and where we wanted to go. But what a lot of that entails is kind of getting the sales off the ground. During that first year, I call them pennies from heaven. We were very, very lucky with the need and the demand for all of the things that people were buying for during the pandemic. And now, it's at this point, it's about the sales. So I call myself the general manager, but for the time being, my core focus is definitely sales. I came into a pretty well-oiled machine with a phenomenal team, and I'm really grateful for that. So I don't necessarily have to worry about our purchasing, our day-to-day operations with, getting deliveries out and picking orders, things like that. I've got a great warehouse manager and some support staff for that. So very, very proud of that.
That's awesome. It's good that you trust your team and so that you can focus on growing that revenue number and not have to worry about some of the back office stuff. Yeah. What has been the biggest challenge though for you going from strictly being a salesperson to having that role as general manager?
So, really, first and foremost, it was changing my thinking. As a salesperson, I was always working on, closing a deal, and I was always working on selling a service, whereas now I'm working on selling a product. So in that sense, it's a lot of switching gears with some of the word tricks that I'm saying and some of the value adds and just the things that you can talk about when you're trying to make a sale. But on an organizational level, it was really trying to understand all the different departments and facets of the business, because it really is so much more complex than just janitorial contract sales. At the end of the day, when we're talking about just janitorial contract sales, we're looking at a facility, and we're finding that sweet spot of the right amount of time to get the job done and that fair number that we assess for it. Whereas, with supplies, it's all about finding the right refill for dispensers that are currently there, or finding the right, combination of products for the customer. And there's just so many variables. So it's a lot of the challenge has been familiarizing myself with the products so that I can put together a program or a package for somebody that's all encompassing and actually does add value.
So let's talk about a little bit about the products. That's great mindset shift from going and encompassing your whole company rather than just focusing on the sale. I think that's awesome. What, outside of the PPE, what kind of products are you guys seeing, outside of masks and hand sanitizers and stuff like that?
Sure. So, first I should probably talk about our groupings of customers, because we have a lot of products that we can offer, but certain products are only offered to certain types of customers, if that makes sense. So, for example, like of course, like we were talking about with the PPE, that is available to anybody and everybody, and we would never want to limit anybody from buying masks, hand sanitizers, things like that. But, for example, our business customers, our commercial customers have access to buy dispensers and the paper product refills. Whereas it's not as easy for just a regular consumer to purchase the dispenser to hang in their house, just because it's not a common practice. So we set that up and geared that area of our business toward selling to businesses. But we do have household cleaning products. We do have cleaning supplies and equipment for janitorial companies. So the hospital grade disinfectants, the microfibers, everything from the janitorial carts that you would see someone pushing around a facility, to the microfibers that they'll actually use while they're cleaning. Our goal is to be an all-encompassing supply store, whether it be for the consumer, for the business, or for the specific janitorial business, to use. So we really have a lot of options. And in addition to that, we do have programs to source, large heavy duty pieces of equipment for some of those, janitorial companies. So, for example, there are things like auto scrubber machines that literally sweep and mop the floor at the same time, cover a lot of square footage, but those sometimes could cost as much as a car. So part of the service that we offer is making that accessible for more people.
This sounds really similar. Like over here at TDA, we try to be the one-stop shop for insurance needs. It sounds like Jan Supply, the one-stop shop for supply needs, baby.
Absolutely. Also important to announce that we do have a retail store opening up soon. It's going to be in Southfield, Michigan at like 8 in Greenfield. We're in the Northland Towers. So we'll have, I'm sure Dan can put the address in the description so that people can kind of check it out and see. But we should be opening within the next few months. And of course, we'll have some updates to come. But the whole idea is that no matter who you are, no matter what your need is, you can walk into the store and we'll have something for you. Whether it be the household cleaning products, the break room supplies for businesses, or the paper products for the restroom, we'll have it all.
So you have the brick and mortar, and I've also checked out your guys' website, and you guys have everything available to purchase online as well, right?
Yes, absolutely. So what's different than most janitorial supply or wholesale supply companies is they don't have an online store, and you need a rep or you need a login in order to get access to some of the products. And for us, we've really set up our site so that anybody can go on and take a look and shop around. And for anybody who's listening, for their first order, if they'd like to make a purchase, I'm offering 10% off. Use the discount code 10OFF for 10% off your order. And keep in mind that any order over 100 ships for free, and that goes for any order, whether or not you have a discount code. So very important to us. And we always like to try to provide our products for either same day or next day delivery. The whole name of the game for us is accessibility and keeping things in stock so that we can get the product in everybody's hands as efficiently as possible.
Yeah, I like your guys' setup there too. We try to do the same thing. It's kind of meet the customer where they want to be, whether it be dealing in person with a rep and someone they can feel comfortable with, or just going and doing it themselves after work hours and going online and picking what they want. I think that's the name of the game today, especially post-COVID world. You just got to meet people where they want to be. It's more important than ever. How have you guys have found your customers, and what have you been seeing?
So, of course, I'm trying to find new customers by networking and BNI, and of course, that's how I met you. And it's been great so far. So, kudos to the referral factory.
Hey,
But at the end of the day, we have a pretty unique advantage because Jan Pro is a business with a book of customers. And really for Jan Supply, we have two sets of customers that could come from the Jan Pro business. So that's number one, could be our franchise owners who are going to want to purchase supplies through our store. So all the equipment that they need and things like that, we have what we call a starter kit for about $1,000 for anybody who buys a franchise from us. And it truly is an all-encompassing kit where they could show up to their first account and have everything they need to get going. And so, that's the value add for them. But also, we are focusing on trying to capture some of the actual customers that the franchisees service as well. The value add there for them is the fact that we have a franchise owner or a cleaner already in their janitor's closet. So they can handle restocking the restrooms and taking a look at the inventory of the trash can liners or the toilet paper and reordering for their customer to make it so they just don't have to think about it again. And like I said, for us, we're always trying to add value and make things more efficient. And for our customers, if we can take something off their plate and make it an automated process, that's what we're striving to do. In addition to that, of course, to try to find some new customers, I've tapped into my network. Social network has been great. I've been networking a lot on Facebook and reaching out. LinkedIn has been excellent. So really, we're not discriminating with how we might try to find some new leads to get some appointments. And I've really been trying to just hit the ground running and try to cover all bases in terms of lead generation and networking with people.
that's awesome, man. That's interesting you say that you've been spending most of your time on Facebook and LinkedIn social media wise, because I've been doing the same. And you see people who have found a lot of success on whether it be Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok. But for me, in trying to do B2B sales, I find that Facebook and LinkedIn have been the most effective. I'm just curious of what your thoughts are on that.
I tend to agree. We would be missing the mark if we didn't have a presence on the other social media platforms. Again, very fortunate to have good staff here, and I have a social media manager who's always posting for Jan Pro and Jan Supply, which is great. So we have a presence on most of the social media platforms. But I definitely agree with you. Where I spend most of my time is LinkedIn and Facebook. What I've been doing is trying to reach out to 10 people a day on LinkedIn. And what I've been doing is kind of drilling down to facilities managers, building managers, property managers, office managers, things like that are local in our area. And, you can connect with them, and then you've got an opportunity to send a message that's about 300 characters. So I've had some decent success with that, and I've gotten a couple of appointments from it. So it's been great. And it really is just kind of doing a little bit of research. Almost feel like you're stalking just a little bit, but you're trying to figure out what area, what business, and then whether or not this person is possibly a good connection. So that's really what I've been doing. And in addition to that, I've been cold calling just a little bit, to some of those Jan Pro customers that I might have sold the contract to when I was doing sales for Jan Pro, or even if I wasn't necessarily the salesperson, I've been reaching out to them. It's all about the volume with reaching out. So I try to do about 50 calls a day just to see, what I can capture and who I can connect with. And the way that I see it is that maybe, if I obviously I'm not, all 50 people aren't going to answer. And obviously all 50 people aren't necessarily going to be ready for an estimate or an appointment, but rather to have a quick conversation and raise some awareness about our business and make a connection. That's another benefit to making those calls and reaching out to the potential customers. For us, it's all about raising awareness at this point.
Yeah, 100% agree. That's been some of my 2021 tactics here too, is getting back to cold calling and just going out and going door to door and dropping off some goodie bags with my business card on it. I get back to some of the old school tactics. Oh, yeah. I feel like, we talk about social media and LinkedIn messages, and I think on COVID, everyone kind of got back into that game, and we're sending stuff like that if you were in the sales game. So I think now it's kind of, you still got to be on social media. I think if you're not on social media and playing that game in today's age, you're going to die. But I think now there's also people just miss that in-person feel or that real connection to pick up the phone or talk to someone in person. So I think some of those old school tactics are going to be, more useful as more people are working from home. The people who do get out there,
I
wear your
totally
K95,
agree.
wear your K95 mask from Jan Supply, and get out there and go pound some pavement again. I think that's the old school way of
Yeah,
coming back.
for all those double and triple maskers, reach out to me. We can get you outfitted with some KN95s, and that way you only got to worry about one mask. Yeah,
Funny.
one of the things that I've been doing actually is, since I have some good experience with the Jan Pro customers, any of the customers that have had a complaint like with cleaning, because it does happen. I've been putting together a Jan Supply gift bucket. I dropped one off for you, Dan, and it's kind of like the greatest hits of what we offer. So it's a bucket that's got some masks, both the surgical mask, the KN95. It's got some hand sanitizers, both like a pump bottle as well as like a couple minis that you could take on the go. We also put some alcohol wipes in there and things like that. So it's just a nice way to walk in, to have something presented to the customer, make the connection, raise awareness for the business, and hopefully they're staring at that logo for a couple months, get it in their brain. So
you definitely won my mom over with the gift basket. She made it feel special.
Gotta love it. I never like to walk in empty-handed.
No. I was just yesterday. I was going out. I just had like little Valentine's goodie bags with a couple of pieces of candy on it. And that was really well received. Just the little things.
Very nice. Yeah, absolutely. And it kind of reminded me of what you were talking about, with everything going virtual and everybody trying to really network and sell and change gears to do a lot of things on social media. It's a lot of people are missing that face-to-face interaction. So if you are comfortable with getting out on the road and getting in front of some of your customers, I think there's a great benefit to that, because there's still a lot of people who are not hiding behind their keyboards, but kind of still really their main focus is the social media and the web outreach, when there are plenty of people who are ready to get out in the field.
Yeah, totally agree. I did want to ask you about, you just joined our BNI chapter. And for those of you who aren't familiar with BNI, it's Business Networking International, and it's a international organization, but there's specific chapters in local cities or whatnot. And Jason just recently joined the Farmington Referral Factory that I've been in for about a year. But we did meet at your old BNI when you were at Jan Pro in the Birmingham group. I just would like you to share with the listeners the benefits that you've had from BNI and how it's helped you as a young business person.
So first and foremost, it's been great to make some genuine connections with great people around the community. Take growing your business out of the equation. Take the thank you for closed business and the referrals out of the equation. There are still people from my original BNI chapter that I still talk to on a weekly basis. And, that has been great. People who are established in the community, people who are older than I am, that know a lot more than I do. And it's just been a great experience to have those resources and to be able to have those conversations with people who have, advice and knowledge to offer. So that's been excellent. But then kind of, shifting to the main focus of BNI, which is to pass, some excellent referrals. It's been great to get to know a group of people, because now I'm in a position to say, if I'm talking to one of my friends and they're like, oh, I need a mover, I can say, oh, I got a guy for that. Or if one of my friends is complaining about their renter's insurance, I can send them to you, Dan, and never have to worry about whether or not that's a good lead pass. It really, it gave me, number one, a referral network. But also, I hope it works the same way on the flip, where, if Dan or another member of the chapter is talking to a business owner who needs supplies or janitorial cleaning, I hope to also be that guy. And that's really the benefit to BNI. And, they always talk about kind of the motto of givers gain, and it could not be more true. To spend some time to get to know these people, it will play out and pan out fivefold for you.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with everything you're saying there. And no matter what you read or listen to when you're trying to gain knowledge about business, it usually boils down to it's a relationship business. And I think like you said, it's BNI is more so developing friendships and relationships with like-minded professionals who are going to be able to attract the same kind of people and hopefully pass them and grow your network. And I'm an athlete growing up, so I like to make sports analogies. When I joined BNI, it felt like I was joining a team. And, you know,
Absolutely.
even if you don't know everybody on your team, when you walk into a new team and you got fresh faces, you all have a sense of connection and that you're all here to work together and for one common goal. And that's just to help each other and build relationships. And that's what BNI's been for me. And it has really helped our business over the years.
Absolutely. And, you know, specifically with Referral Factory, it's been really nice to get to know you and Carter and just some of the other younger guys who, again, are kind of like me, like-minded and hungry, need to get going and need to get growing their business to hopefully, you know, have something. And that's what's exciting too. You know, in my old chapter, I was definitely one of the younger guys. So it's really nice to have met you guys to kind of see where our similarities are and how we can network and help each other out. So that's been excellent as well.
Yeah, and I think that's like a great thing about, you know, us hopping on and recording this conversation is just being able to share our experiences. You're 26, I'm 23, and we're out here growing our businesses. And I think that it's just a great conversation for anyone who's a young entrepreneur, professional, salespeople to listen to.
Absolutely. Dan, you're doing pretty damn good for 23.
Hey, thanks, Jason. You're not doing too bad for 26, man. Well, I'd like you to close it up here with one tip you'd have for professional people.
Sure. So, you know, my secret, not secret, but my key to success has been getting up early, making lists, and getting it done. And, you know, when I make my list, I'm thinking about the big picture. I'm thinking about the day, what I need to accomplish. And I always start from big to small, whether it's a personal goal or a business goal. Got to get the easy ones out of the way first, and got to ramp up to the hard ones. And that's been great for me, whether it was when I was in college trying to knock out homework or projects, whether it was, you know, with BNI trying to get some referrals, you know, lined up for people, or whether it's what I'm trying to accomplish today, right now at work. So that's definitely been the key to my success. But also it's been being present and building those relationships. You know, you have to be in the moment and you have to, you know, take in your experiences so that you can roll with what works and learn from what doesn't as well.
That's awesome advice and an awesome story. Thanks so much for coming on and sharing, Jason. I am going to make a BNI plug for anyone looking to make a list. Michelle McGran from Koya's Creative Group Planner. Make a list every day, right spot. Plug Michelle here. Just to end the podcast.
Yes.
So Jason, thanks so much for coming on, man. An awesome story. I think anyone who listens is going to take a lot from you and go out there and kill it. So thanks again for coming on.
Absolutely, Dan. Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure, and it's been a great experience recording a podcast. Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks for listening. And remember, keep it professional, people.